to the Matt Gaetz sex crime probe, a witness saying they allegedly saw Gaetz convicted former ally Joel Greenberg tell Gaetz on a phone call that a teenager that both men had paid to have sex with was actually, quote, underage. Two sources telling the Daily Beast this. NBC News has not matched this reporting. The witness is reportedly Joseph Ellicott, a friend of Greenberg. Now, investigators secured a plea deal from him in a separate investigation, but he's also required to cooperate, according to the Washington Post, fully with the government. The Florida congressman has not been charged with any crimes. He's repeatedly denied allegations of wrongdoing and put out a new statement this week regarding this development, reiterating his denials. This is a story that's been brewing for some time, and we turn back to an expert who knows the law of the land. Dave Ehrenberg is the state attorney for Palm Beach County. Welcome back. What does this mean?
Thanks for having me back, Ari. Well, it's bad news for Matt Gaetz. I think he thought that because there was a delay in this case, it was taking forever, that there was light at the end of the tunnel. But it turns out that the light was just an oncoming train. And this is bad for him. But I think it's worse that the ex-girlfriend testified before the grand jury. She really is the linchpin between Matt Gaetz and child sex trafficking and the Mann Act, which says you can't transport individuals across state or federal lines for purposes of prostitution, and witness tampering. When it comes to Big Joe Ellicott, he's more a corroborating witness for that phone call on September 4th, 2017, that Greenberg made to Gaetz in a panic because he had just found out that one of the girls that they were with from the Seeking Arrangements website was underage.
Now, all of that sounds really bad on the evidence and the underlying potential offense. Gaetz's side not only have denied it, as I say, but they tend to argue that the evidence, though, is not as bad if it has to hang on a phone call or a secondhand account of a phone call. Why would that kind of information, you call it corroboration, matter if investigators have underlying better actual evidence rather than just discussion?
The feds don't want their key witnesses to just be Joel Greenberg, who's a walking criminal enterprise, and the then 17-year-old girl who lied about her age and had a profile on seekingarrangements.com and then became an adult film star. And not to bash anyone's choice of professions, but let me tell you, juries don't like that profile. And so they're looking for corroboration. I think that's why this whole thing has been taking so long. And now they have someone who was in the room when it happened, at least the room where the phone call happened. And why is Joel Greenberg calling Matt Gaetz with Mayday, because he just found out that this girl was underage? Well, you can then surmise that it's because they both were with this girl inappropriately. But the key witness here is the ex-girlfriend, who has no axe to grind with Matt Gaetz. They had an open relationship. She doesn't have major credibility issues. She used to be a Capitol Hill staffer. And she could be the key witness because, you know, when you go for a grand jury, Ari, it's not a place for minor details, but it is a place for details about minors.
Well, you've really walked us through the exact legal
You've got mail.
Because as you mentioned, as we've reported, the underlying offenses are very serious. But whether some of the individuals that might be used by the feds to go at Gaetz have their own credibility and criminal problems goes to how they may be trying to stack the evidence. So I think you've explained that well. I'll reiterate, because this is, of course, an important story. The Gaetz side has denied all wrongdoing. We will report out this investigation wherever it ends, including if it ends with no charges. Dave Ehrenberg, thank you so much. And let me tell everybody what we have coming up.